G'day guys, welcome back to another FairDinkum episode. In today's episode, we have none other than Mohammed, aka MoSocial. He blessed us with his presence today and spoke about all things related to the initiatives which he partakes within the community. Him navigating through life, especially at a very young age, being thrown in the deep end. Spoke about, also highlighted his recent documentary, Raising Men, which you guys should definitely watch. Honestly, we covered so much in this episode. It is our longest episode so far. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, share it with your friends and family, and also let us know in the comments. Thank you guys. Enjoy the episode. Peace.
We don't like it.
We don't like sleeping on the floor.
It's kind of like a modern day young person wanting success,
Gotcha.
but not what everything else it comes with.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to look at
It's
it.
the fast money.
It's the fast money.
That's what it is.
It's Instagram.
Yeah, it is, man.
It's Instagram. We want that picture.
Yeah, exactly.
We want the picture at camp. We don't want to sweat for it.
Correct, yeah.
You know
We
what
want
I
to
mean?
take a photo of nature, but we want to go back home into that Airbnb.
I want to go on a hike to get to the top, but at the end of the hike,
Yeah,
I'm going to be sweating and I'm going to look not the part,
yeah,
and the picture's not going to look Instagram worthy.
exactly.
So how do I get to that pinnacle
Yeah,
so I can take a great flash picture,
correct.
hold it, life is good,
Yeah.
motivational piece,
Yeah,
Tell the story.
and keep going.
correct. But you got to mute.
What do we do? How do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we
Yeah.
get that picture at the top of that hike
Correct, yeah.
without being drenched, without being having sweat patches?
Muting it so you're not panting in the
You're not
background. Welcome, Hamid. Welcome to our episode.
Thanks for having me.
For those that don't know you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you are involved in? That's the 1% we've also been working on. A lot of the
1%,
times,
yeah.
we already know, we have an
You
idea
are-
of the
yeah,
guest,
yeah.
so we just get straight into the conversation.
And it's a very hard question to answer.
It
right?
is.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
like, you know, when you do a fair bit as well, you're like, what do I lead with? How do I introduce myself?
Correct, yeah.
The best way to say it is, I'm a father, you know. I've got 3 beautiful kids. I have my husband, son. So I've got all as my primary role. That's my one of my main roles. Young Muslim man as well. I'm not that young anymore, but I still feel young, you know. So
That's all that matters. Yeah.
just work in the community sector, my day job, and work across a range of community initiatives. So I'm passionate about giving back. Service is probably the best way to put who I am and what I do.
Correct, yeah.
Service doesn't mean I don't get paid for it as well, you know. And but I'm passionate about work that's going to impact people's lives, you know, and improve people's lives, improve systems, improve the pathways for people that I will never meet, you know. And that's what I get to do in my day job in education. So it's about advocating for African heritage kids. So I focus predominantly on supporting them, and then outside of that, I've got a couple of projects that we'll get into, inshallah, in the conversation.
Sure.
But just a community. I'm a youth worker, you know, and just passionate about young people and the wider community as well. So how I do that is different ways.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Drawing it back to the young Mohammed, because that's where you are currently at the moment,
That's
in terms of the work that you do.
mhm.
I think the question is why? Like, why did you get into that? Like, what inspired you? Was there a sort of a need?
Well, like to be honest as well, it's for me, it was making a lot of mistakes. You know, when you're younger, you know, you're open to, you know, different scenarios. I don't know when you guys were younger. Yeah. Which area did you guys grow up?
Heidelberg.
Preston.
Yeah, Heidelberg and Preston. Yeah? Did you see, you know, a lot of people that were close to you and that were falling off? Did you guys
big time.
exposed to it?
Big
Yeah.
time, yeah.
And how quick can something like that happen?
Takes a second, bro. Not literally a second, but it's a small frame of time.
You guys never veered off, right? You guys stayed on for the most part.
For the
Alhamdulillah.
most part,
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, alhamdulillah.
Those boys that veered off were with you at once upon a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was distance that happened. Does that change who they are? In the sense, are they bad people? Yeah,
No, not at all.
Not really,
Yeah,
no.
so-
Still got good mates that are,
good mates.
yeah,
So good people can make bad decisions.
correct, yeah.
And that's how I fell into it as well. So there's a series of bad decisions, man, that I found myself in my adolescence, and in certain environments I found myself in, and I got into a bit of trouble,
Right.
and that was my learning curve. So that was how I had to figure out and take a really good look in the mirror and say, is this going to be the life that I'm going to live or lead, you know? And
Yeah.
is this sustainable? Is it something that I can, I'm satisfied with, you know? And there were people at that time that cared about me more than I cared about myself. And that, you got to fathom what that means. Just deep that for a second. There were people that cared about me that weren't family.
Mhm.
So family is part of that as well. But people that weren't family, that weren't blood related, that weren't even same race as me, they cared about me more than I cared about myself. Where the hell was that coming from?
Did you know it at the time that
Nah.
they actually cared about you? Or was it like, because early on it might come across as nagging and
yeah. You
pestering.
find them as annoying.
they're annoying, yeah.
You find them as annoying. You know, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah, because you keep them around.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you don't completely disconnect, even though they're annoying.
صح, yeah.
But then their persistence opened me up to the possibility of, hey, I've got to actually give this a shot. You know,
Yeah.
and when I went through it, and it was extreme, you know, process to the way to learn. But I ended up transitioning and having another shot at life. You know what I mean?
Can we get into that? Is that all right?
Yeah,
Or
we can get
do you
into
mind
it.
touching into it?
Yeah,
Because
100%.
when you say
Yeah.
trouble,
Yeah,
I guess also for the
it's a justice experience. So
Yeah.
it's serving time.
Yeah.
You know, for past mistakes.
Mhm.
And my past actions and things that you're not proud of, you know, that you don't
Correct, yeah.
glorify, you don't. So I try not to get into much about that. You
Yeah,
know,
the
and
specifics, yeah.
the specifics, but yeah, that was my learning curve, man.
Mm.
And the reason why I touch on that is because if you want to, you know how it feels to be at your lowest, you know, that's part. It doesn't get worse than that, man. Where someone's telling you what time to go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And telling you, you know, this is your structure. You can't. You got 2 phone calls a day.
True.
Yeah.
You know, and each phone call's 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a fun.
Freedom.
It's not a fun experience, bro. It's as much as, you know, people see, or young people nowadays see, you know, the social media, the lifestyle that comes with an element, a whole world of risk taking and antisocial behavior. They don't understand that is that worth their time and freedom?
Mhm.
You know, is the pursuit of money, you know, material possessions, is that worth trading your time?
Yeah.
And the answer is every minute, like
Every time,
no. It's
Correct.
you can't even entertain it. It's not a fair trade,
That's true.
and nothing is worth that. So that was the time where I had to really look at it and say, bro, this is not me. You know, I come from a better family. I come from better circumstances. I had no business in being in that environment.
Yeah.
But that then opened me up to as well. I met a lot of people while I was there around that time, and I saw that there's people that were in tougher situations. They didn't have much of a choice. You don't choose who your family is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't choose the situations you're born into. And when you see people in that scenario, that you kind of start to feel a bit more grateful. You see, you know, and at that time is probably the most I was being connected to the din, you know.
What age was this?
19.
Okay.
Yeah. Pivotal
18,
age as well.
18,
Yeah, it
18
is.
19, yeah.
Yeah, that fork road.
Yeah.
Life can either go that way or that way.
It's a left to right. So,
Mhm. But
that's-
you know,
yeah.
with that as well, yeah. So the other thing as well, because this would have been, I guess, not to put it that way, but back in the days, you know. But
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah,
That's
because
crazy. Back in the day, it's crazy.
I know.
Back in the day.
I say
Back
that
in the
Make
day.
us
I
feel
say
like
that lightly.
Damn,
I say
you
that
know,
lightly.
I'm coming to grips with my age, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back
I was
in the
going to
day-
ask you a question.
He has to remind us, yeah.
Back in the days, crazy. That's good. My kids say that, you know.
Yeah,
They say that's
wild,
crazy.
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah. I was going to ask you. This is random. Yeah,
It is back in
It's
the
the
day.
ADHD questions. Yeah?
Yeah.
At what age did you feel like old? But not like, I'm not saying you're old, but I'm trying to say, I've asked this question to people before,
Yeah.
At what age do you grasp sort of the concept of time? Does that make sense?
I think I'm starting to think more about time now than ever.
Yeah, gotcha.
More than ever.
So recently.
Recent. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because of comments like that.
Okay.
No, I'm
And
joking. I'm joking. It's not your no, but I'm starting to feel like that. But you gotta my situation is a bit different, man.
Yeah, Sahih.
Because me at 20 I got married.
You did, yeah, which we will touch into.
And then I was a father at 21,
Mm-hmm.
father at 23,
Yeah,
2, and then father at 24,
gotcha.
3 before 25.
Yeah.
I felt old when I was going to uni as mature age.
Mm.
With-
Why
with
did you
3
feel
kids.
old? Why did you feel old?
Because you got 3 kids. Everyone,
It's the children.
everyone's in different situations.
Correct.
Here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're there for a social purpose.
True.
I'm there trying to get a degree and get
Provide
out
for
of
the
there.
family.
Come in, do a bit of work, and then
Just
go. You know what I mean? In between, and go to my second job,
Yeah.
run around. You know, and just I always felt a little bit more disconnected from my age group.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So I always hung out with people older at this age.
Yeah.
So since 2012, I've only hung out predominantly with older people
Gotcha.
for the most part. Yeah, because they're the people that were in my or other married ones. There was few and far between of that earlier days. So it was just uncles and older people, bro, older
Correct,
friends
yeah.
that I had. So, so I kind of felt a little bit older at that time, but I still feel young, bro. I don't know. I don't feel.
No,
old.
you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing,
I-
because the concept of time it's weird, bro.
Yeah,
It's like, how do I explain it? It's like when you were in school,
yeah,
the idea of year 6 was a big thing. Then you reach year 6, and it's
Yeah.
like year 12 is like those guys are big kids. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Universities are a wild shot away. You know what I mean? It's in a whole nother world. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And straight after that, it's like the marriage is the next thing, and then the kids start popping out, and it's like it's all like a number of days. But some people, they don't like, how do I say, they don't grasp that concept of time. They just
Yeah.
cruise through life, and
Yeah.
it's a blissful thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, oh, I'm old, this, that. Actually, like pondering over it, but it's also like a wake up call to like action things in life, because it's only a number of days.
It's
It's not much.
subjective.
Yeah.
Go speak to a 60-year-old.
Mm.
Go speak to an 80-year-old.
They all feel young. Physically, they're older.
And in your conversation with the 80-year-old,
Yeah.
do you feel young or do you feel old?
I feel old, bro.
You
I'm
feel-
sorry, so I'd feel young
feel
compared to
young.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
young. Yeah.
I think there's too many 30-year-olds talking to 20-year-olds about age.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're looking down. We're looking at our 20s as our glory days.
Yeah.
We should be looking at our 40s as our...
Yeah.
It's ahead of us.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
We're holding on to our prime time.
Who said 20 is our prime?
That's true.
You have no resources at 20. Who said... How is 20 your prime?
Yeah, it's just the start of adulthood.
So when is our prime then? What would you say?
At 20, did you know yourself?
Nah.
How could that be your prime?
You can't.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, true.
You're disconnected from you, and we're saying that that's our best years.
True.
Is it physically your best years?
No, that's the thing.
It's not your
Not
physical
even
peak.
close.
Is it your mental peak? How is 20s your prime?
That's true.
It's not your prime. It's a fallacy. But social media is telling us what?
Yeah, but yeah.
Everything is telling us that this was our best years.
Yeah.
30s is old. I think I saw Kyrie on Kai Sanat's pod
Yeah, yeah.
on his
live
stream,
stream,
on the
yeah.
live stream. He's at 32. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Correct.
punk. And I said, Kyrie got offended. He got offended. Kyrie got offended. And I felt Kyrie. I thought he's
Yeah, because you realized in that
I'm not the
moment.
same age as Kyrie, you know?
Yeah, correct.
It's, I thought he's playing. I'm like, how is 32 old?
Yeah, that is true.
And I don't know when that happened. When
I
that
know.
when the change and the tipping point happened. But I just think I think he's young, man.
Yeah, it is
So I think
true.
we got to speak to
It's like LeBron now as well.
LeBron's young, man.
Yeah, but he's not playing like how he used to. That's when the concept of time hits me.
You think he's not playing like he used to?
Nah, as of recent, nah, definitely not.
Yeah, he's
You know?
making poor decisions. Yeah,
Like,
he's
usually-
stat padding. He's stat padding. Sorry, he's stat padding.
Yeah.
But
He needs to stay relevant.
he's not going to win a chip this year.
No. No, not with AD. Maybe with Connect, but not with AD.
AD, you think AD's not not that good.
AD is one of those players where I just can't stand. You know, with the God-gifted abilities that he has, and for the performance that he produces on the court, is
What's the performances he produces on the court?
fam. Like, you touch him one bit and then he's injured, and you got him like
He played 80 games last year or 78 games last year.
yeah, true.
See, people have opinions of AD that's unfair. No matter what he does.
You know what it is?
The guy played 78 games last year and we're talking about he's injured.
Okay, and
Do you know,
Yeah,
Paul,
that is crazy.
There's
Yeah.
82 games in the NBA season.
Yeah.
yeah.
He plays 78 of them. Can the man do anything else? Can he shake it? Label.
Okay, so then what's the problem with the Lakers then?
Depth. I think depth is
Take
a problem.
Ham out of it.
Yeah, Ham was a problem.
Okay.
Ham was a problem.
You don't think AD could have done more?
Not Ham was a problem last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think and our roster's not that good.
Yeah,
We're not deep.
that's true.
That
That is actually very
I'm
true.
not going to say D'Lo's the problem. D'Angelo
Nah.
Russell. I'm a big Laker fan, guys.
I can tell.
Massive, massive.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Got defensive with AD.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think it's AD's fault. I think AD's the top 3 player in the league right now. It's
This year.
This year for sure.
Yeah, this year.
He might even win MVP this year, but it's not him.
big
It's our
call.
depth. We don't have the depth. We don't have the players. You know, so
Correct.
at the moment, so I think our issue is our roster.
Management.
That 6 through to 15.
Your bench.
Depth, our depth.
Because you're trading him for Bronny, that's why.
Bronny,
You're drafting him, that's why.
Good story though.
It is.
Amazing.
I want to mention that story.
Yeah.
But going back to 19-year-old Mohammed,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
19-year-old Mohammed, I was going to ask a question in regards to, because at that sort of point, you don't know any better, you're young. And I guess this is the case for most kids that go through the system or the justice system at that young age. And because they don't know any better, and I guess the family scenario, the environment they come from doesn't know any better, they often like repeat, you know what I mean? Or they go down like a rabbit hole and then it's hard to get them out, you know what I mean? What was that moment for you where you're like, okay, cool, this isn't me. I should be more grateful. I could do better.
Yeah.
How did you make that turn?
Look, I'm a pretty extreme guy. Yeah. It's if I'm doing bad,
Yeah.
I'm doing bad.
Yeah.
But if I decide to do good, I'm all in. I just haven't had that middle
It'll go, yeah.
half-assed mentality before, you know? So I think at that point I just made a conscious decision that I'm done with that period, yeah? So I'd actually also, once I make a decision, I'm not the type to look back and think about anyone else, how they're going to feel, you know what I mean, if I'm going to lose friendships or whatnot. So I was blessed with that kind of ability to make a decision for me and not really be impacted by a group think, you know, or unfortunately not everyone has that.
True.
And not everybody's wired that same way. You know, for whatever reasons, man, you know, we all been in friendship groups and we know every friendship group has a dominant person, you know, that dominates everything.
Group leader.
Group leader. Bro, it's a good thing to have a group leader. It's not a bad thing as well. But then there's also, you know, the second chief, you know, the funny guy, the vibe guy, and then there's a, you know, couple maybe that just kind of string along. I've never been that string along person. So that allowed me to kind of shift and make some decisions. And sometimes when you're changing, you have to change your environments. That means you're gonna have to change your friendship circles. You got and a lot of time in isolation, bro. And even after, you know, the fact when you come back, a lot of time with yourself. And the fact that I got married at that time as well was helpful, bro. It allowed me to kind of just shift my focus.
Your responsibilities change from there.
Responsibilities change. And what helped was being in service. When I say service, bro, why I love being in service, bro, I think that's what saved me, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's what helped change my life. Because it was for the first time I wasn't even thinking about myself. But it's my family, my community work, you know what I mean? It was serving something other than myself that can be occupied. I didn't feel sorry for myself as much, you know, even though I was struggling at that time to kind of shake off that past, you know, and in the eyes of You know, people that was things that were out of my control at that time. No matter what I was doing, that still was with me. You know, where I was going, every room, every conversation. So at the time it was hard, but being in service and having that mindset, I'm doing this for, you know what I mean, sake of Allah, I'm doing this for to betterment of my community, better myself and better the people around me, and just kind of being that mentality.
Okay.
Before I knew it, I was 10 years removed, man. You know, and I did a body of work, and I never really reflected on it. Yeah. And I didn't know that what I was overcoming at the time was very difficult for many. You know, people when they transition out and are engaging, trying to better their lives and doing good work, and they're chasing a better lifestyle, better life for themselves and their families. They're constantly reminded, and that reminder sometimes buries them to revert back to a life of crime and you know, just it's a messy lifestyle, bro. You know, and I understand why people fall into that.
Yeah.
You know, the justice system isn't the most forgiving. You know, and it opens many up to a hardened lifestyle. They might go in a bit on the fence, you know, not fully hardened, and then the experience changes them for good, and they're never the same person.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? So
what is it that causes, I guess, to go over the edge? Is it
is
it now because of the environment? A lot of factors.
A lot of factors. Yeah.
Racial side of thing plays a part.
As a African, as a black person, and as a African, it is harder for you because you're visibly different already.
Correct.
You know, you're already you walk into a lot of these institutions, and you've got a uphill race that you're trying to a mountain you're trying to climb to get into these rooms and to give yourself a better chance. So it doesn't help your cause, you know. But I'm not going to say that's the only thing. I think as an African we can utilize that as well.
Yeah,
the difference can also be the strength. You know, it's the fact that there's diversity highs, and we can utilize these things.
Yeah.
You know, and as much as we hate it, we can use it. And then there's people that can actually benefit from these opportunities, you know, and
so then what is that about the system that causes, like, I think the point that you mentioned before where it's like the people that weren't fully fledged, or I guess their identity hasn't been crafted yet, the second they go in and it's not forgiving, so then they go harder, they go deeper down that route. What causes them to hit that, like, I guess that 180?
Is there services that care about them more than they care about themselves?
Correct. Yeah.
Are there people that they're connecting with? I think I was very lucky at the time that where I was at. I think there were more people servicing and actually service from a perspective of their heart and operating from goodness to wanting me to change and succeed. I'll give you an example. I think I'm not going to talk down on departments or whatnot, but I think the mindset shifted. I think we've shifted to a more punitive measures. I think as a collective, as a justice system, I think now we look at the punishment is the focus now. You say you open newspaper tomorrow, we're talking about ankle monitors, we're talking about, you know, it's punitive, bro. I think the system's perspective has changed. Once upon a time, like, he actually had a rehabilitation thought to support and to invest in and there was a possibility of this young person changing. Today, what we're seeing is there's a lot more punitive measures, demonizing, alienating, fear-mongering. Justice has become a political football that's being used to weaponize and put fear in the people to swing election votes. And that's what you're seeing. That's the messaging. Yeah? We are not exempt from the message. Yeah, but we as a community, young people, they see and hear everything that's being portrayed. If you tell a young person they're a monster enough times, they're going to behave like monsters. And if you, because what's going to happen is you're putting fear in the population. Who is the population? That is the institutions, institution leaders. These are the people that these young people are going to have to interact with them at one point or another. If you're you're spreading these fallacies, these rumors and these stereotypes, you're alienating. You're putting this group of people on an island. These people are already vulnerable. They're at tipping point already, crossroads. Yeah, they're trying to change. They're trying to figure out their path and their position in this world. They're coming out of a pretty horrid situation. Can you now see how they may never fully find their feet in the world? And we're not pointing fingers saying whose fault is it. Yeah. I think there's accountability, and then they got to have the same resilience
on all behalves.
On all behalves, and they got to be stronger. But I think it's on people, services and people that are in the community sector to do that work with them, so they can help realize the potential of their path. You get where I'm coming from?
Correct. Yeah.
What you have here is this. You look at the service. I'm working on a project. Yeah, not a project. It's an organisation. It's called Think Village. Yeah, you know Hannah as well. Hannah
Think
Hussey?
Village. Yeah.
Think Village. It's our organisation. We both co-founded it, and we're doing a bit of pieces of work on exactly this conversation.
Yeah,
we're saying the services either focus on, upstream.
Yeah,
the kids that are doing well, or they service the downstream, the kids that are coming out of prison on drugs and kind of they're going through their phase of figuring out
their life.
Yeah, but it's in a crisis point. Either services are here or they're there. As a service delivery organisation, if you operate in the downstream for too long, what's going to be that service's position or thinking? What do you think? What do you think their mindset's going to be if they're only dealing with kids coming out of prison on drug? As a service, where do you think their mind's going to be?
From the prison aspect and all the troubles and all that.
No? And they're going to be burnt out, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very narrow outlook on life. They're going to, you know what I mean? It's going to start to shape their approach to the work as well. What we're saying is, you got to work across both.
Correct. Yeah.
If you're a justice-focused organisation, or you're just working with kids that are going through some really bad shit.
Correct. Yeah.
Sorry for swearing, but they're going through a bad patch or a bad time. If you're disconnected from the early intervention or prevention space, how are we going to strengthen the kids up the top to make sure that they're not coming down into this path?
Correct. Yeah. It's like it's a community mentality, a herd mentality.
Yeah, and I think as services, we got to expose ourselves a little bit more. We need those downstream organisations.
Both sides.
But we need the downstream organisations to be connected with the upstream organisations.
Definitely.
And the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. That's what we're trying to bridge. We're trying to bridge that gap between the left hand and the right hand.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having a day where your left hand and right hand were not in sync?
Correct. Yeah.
Will you function?
No.
That's how our community services sector and landscape is currently set up. And then our kids are falling through the gaps of the system. So we're taking a systems approach, Think Village. We're saying we're thinking about the village is going to take a collective approach. It takes a village. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And we want services to buy into that, to understand that we got to be a connection point, strengthen the connections right across the spectrum, to make sure that our kids right across wherever they are at, our thriving kids, we're supporting them, and our kids that are falling behind, we're supporting them also.
I like that concept a lot because I guess back in the day, going back to that phrase,
you love that line.
Yeah, I'm getting old, man. I think everyone, sort of village concept, yeah, everyone had sort of like a responsibility for everyone's actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I was to do something wrong, you know what I mean, I wasn't really fearing what my mum would say. I was also feeling what like Mahabir would be saying, or like next person or someone in the community, someone that, you get what I mean, like the whole community. Whereas now it's like if only one part is focusing on rehabilitating the ones that have fallen through and whatnot, you're right, it ends up causing that burnt out effect, you know. And I think a lot of problems nowadays with society is like that individualistic mentality, you know. And would you say a lot of the problems that like sort of lead down that path stems from a broken home?
I think it definitely plays a
big
part in
part.
it. 100%, man. 100%. I don't think there's a lot of kids that are doing well from broken homes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And split homes and being raised by single parent homes. But it doesn't help their chances. Let's just do the numbers. Yeah? As a father, right now, take me out of the picture.
Yeah.
My wife's going to have 3 kids. Yeah? It's tough to parent from outside the home.
Yeah.
Not impossible. Co-parenting does exist, and it's important. And as a community, we got to get better at that.
Yeah.
We don't even understand that concept. We're so bitter and fixated on ourselves that we fail to see that co-parenting is as an option for many. Right?
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting. We don't see it as an option. We see relationship breakdown as the. I'm not talking about my personal.
I
talking
get you,
about
in
more
general.
just general.
Correct,
General, yeah. Just the community's understanding of what that means.
Yeah.
But now, the majority of the burden is going to be on the single mother.
Yeah.
We're in Australia. That's how
Yeah.
the cookie
The mother
crumbles.
takes it all.
100%. That's just how it happens. Yeah. And now 3 kids, single mum. She's still got to work and look after herself as well. That time is now taken away from the kids because now work's taken her because now she's doing the traditional husband's role.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a bit old school. I think the husband's the main provider, and I think that's their main role. Yeah. And to call it whatever you want to call it, I think that's my main obligation. No one can change that, right? I'm the main provider. She wants to work, go work.
Correct.
She wants to go study. I'm not saying she can't do that, but I'm going to be the one that is going to carry that burden. So if split parent home, it works. Now she's got to go work now, guaranteed, no choice.
Correct. Yeah. To provide for the kids.
Provide for herself and the kids. Where does that time go for the kids? Who's going to give them that time?
That's true.
Yeah.
The nurturing aspect of it, the discipline, everything comes from the mum.
Now,
And then there's the emotional regulation. I think that's the part that's also not looked upon as well.
because there's emotional distress in the home.
Exactly.
Emotional distress, there's you're seeing your peers, you're seeing, everyone else benefit from this, the privileges of having 2 parents in home, and you're going without,
Yeah.
stretched for resources. There's a lot that happens.
And even on the
Financial stress,
the emotional
pressures,
regulation
yeah.
part, your financial, that part plays part with the emotional regulation.
Yeah.
But like the pivotal moments, you know what I mean? Like when you start to hit puberty, you know what I mean? And then let's just say,
as a young boy,
as a young girl, those conversations to have as well,
Getting a job.
Getting a job. I think also the disciplinary side of things, like with fathers, with their sons and stuff as well, is when they get to that pivotal age, it's like that toughness that needs to sort of be like instilled into them. Like life's not easy, this and that, Same thing, like from a different aspect, And you know what's funny? PBD, David.
Yeah.
Have you watched his interview with Khabib?
Not the Khabib one.
You should really watch it. Like he speaks about like his late father, Allah yarham, and he speaks about like the difference in terms of how he parented him compared to how he parented his sisters.
Yeah.
And then after he goes, because they were speaking about the concept of love, and from the outside in, a lot of people would say, "Oh, you weren't loved by your father," and he speaks about a concept where he goes, "No, my father loved me, but he loved me differently. He showed me his love different to the way that he showed the daughters, Like he would give me long rounds, discipline me whenever I would train and whatnot, But he wouldn't do that to my sisters. You know what I mean? He would actually be more gentle with his words to my sisters, show them words of like affirmation.
Yeah.
Whereas when he used to be hard on me, that was his form of love. you know. And there was like, there's also a TikTok video as well, because a lot of people now, when they look back and they blame immigrant parents for everything, or they didn't love me or whatever, it's like, no, the way that they showed you their love was very different. You know, it's like with Asian families, they cook a lot, I guess, you know. So it's like the mum will never tell you, like, you know, the whole A+ concept, you know what I mean?
The affection. Affection looks different for everybody,
It
right?
does. It looks very,
not
very
just in the
different.
formal words.
100%.
You know?
But the Western culture tells us what?
You have to do it this way, and only, there is no other way from it, you know?
But we have to also understand the context of where we are.
Yeah.
So as next generation, we have to be comfortable to tell our kids we love them
Yeah.
with words. Yeah?
Yeah.
There's that. We have to also shift with time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a good shift as well. I think it's important, even though our parents didn't tell us that directly,
Yeah.
and they showed it through their actions, I think we need to do both.
Correct.
Make a conscious. I do it all the time. Man. That's what I do all the time. I'm just, showering with love, and reminding them. Even when I'm upset with my kids, I remind them that I love them.
But still, what you're doing is wrong.
But I don't love that action.
Yeah.
I love you, but not that action.
Yeah.
But it's important to do both. I think. I think showing affection through your actions is good. It's powerful, but what's more powerful is the duality, doing both. Because the words are powerful, bro.
Yeah, correct.
And then that's what they're going to hear long after you're gone. Is all the affirmations you put in their head, all the positive thoughts and the love.
It's like going back to
that
the emotional dysregulation bit. It's like when it's a split home environment and the whole co-parenting, the mother can't do it all.
Yeah.
It's going back to the validation now.
Yeah.
It's like then in life, that person or that child then will go seeking validation from everything other than like sort of their foundations.
Yeah.
So they'll find that from their group of friends or the boys, find that in a toxic relationship with a girl.
Yeah.
Or just other means, you know what I mean? It varies, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that's where sort of the problem stems from. I was going to go back a little bit.
Go back.
Okay. Yeah. To your early 20s.
Yeah.
Not early 20s, like when you turn 20.
Yeah.
And the whole concept of like responsibilities. How much of a problem is too much time? Because you spoke about how the second... So, because you said 19 you were in the system, and then 20 you got married. I'm right to say that?
Yeah. Right
20 you got married.
Right after, yeah.
And obviously, when you turn 20, bang, bro, you got other worries rather than the boys and stuff like that.
Yeah, it shifts.
So, how much problem is having too much time? And would you say that also stems with a lot of the problems in today's youth?
I'm not saying marriage is the solution as well, man. So I'll probably
But the concept of marriage is it's a huge responsibility.
But some people are not ready for it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's a good conversation.
So a lot of the time, people, and this is what you see, bro. You see families rushing to marry their kids off or their boys off when they're not fit to be given that responsibility.
Would you say because they think it's the solution? Yeah.
It's not a solution.
Yeah.
If your kid's got a drug problem, a substance problem, don't give that problem to a poor girl, to someone's daughter, to be able to deal with the consequences of that. Yeah? So my situation was different. I didn't have an addiction, right? So, with substance, but addiction, we're talking addiction.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Difference.
I could correct certain behaviors, and I was, I wasn't at a point where I knew that I was capable and ready and desired to look after my wife, right? Wife to be at that point. Not everybody has the right person, and B are at the right point. It's about recognizing that. Once you recognize that, it's important if they don't have those things. And they have an opportunity. I think it's a good way to kind of feel serve something other than yourself, and then pour into. And I think women, your wife can pour into you like no other.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And
I don't know what you mean by
Can you imagine? But they'll be able to kind of help that process if you're ready. But I'm a big believer of don't give a problem to someone else to fix. I think the work has to be done by the person first. That's my standing. If it's not marriage, it's very important to fill your time. It's very important to occupy, surround yourself in positive circles, whether it's a masjid groups, whether it's reconnecting with your deen and hanging out with people that are better than you. That's the part. You gotta hang out with people. I told you I was with people that are older than me. To be honest, at that time, they were morally better than me.
Correct, yeah.
Deen-wise, better than me, bro.
Correct, yeah.
In a lot of aspects, they were better than me. And I was hanging out with them. So when you hang around better people that are better than you, that will elevate you tenfold.
Yeah.
Aggregate.
Yeah. Even subconsciously as well. The little things that you do.
Environment.
Yeah.
It will improve your decision making, your view, outlook on life, and it will just put you in a better standing. Even if you're not doing much. You're just soaking in good knowledge, mannerisms, whatever it is. That's what I think people should prioritize when you're coming out. And don't be hard on yourself, man. I just think we're in the time and day now where we see the best of people's lives that's broadcasted, man.
With social media?
100%.
Especially like you're seeing now 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, like they're showing that they're making thousands upon millions. And you're only seeing...
It's not real, bro. It's not.
That's one aspect as well. Yeah. You're not. Some are just showing this so-called facade, but then there's also people just showing what it took to get there, and it's all combined into 60 seconds. And it's like, you want that 60-second effect as well, but that's not going to look like that.
And it makes you feel miserable, man.
It does.
Do you know, a lot of people, these boys are getting in trouble because they want that fast money.
Yeah.
They want that fast lifestyle. Because, the girls have been sold that's the prime.
Correct.
The prime person, you know what I mean? Or they can provide for you this and that. Hustler, go-getter, alpha. You know what I mean? There's a whole movement that's been pushed and shoved down people's in their face, and it's such a facade, bro. It's the biggest lie. What they don't show you is how unhappy they are with all the resources, whether it's real or not. They got the money. Are they happy? Are they content with where they're at? Is their heart full?
Yeah, correct.
This is stuff that you can't measure. And it happens to the best of us, bro. Sometimes I'm watching something, I'm like, yo, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're human. I'm not exempt from it. I'm exactly no different to anyone here.
Yeah.
And I'll go through those emotions. I can't imagine my kids tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. I hear you.
I'm affected today when I see some of this stuff. And it makes me really look at, am I in the right space?
Correct, yeah.
I question that at times. I'm like, yeah, you are. Chill out, Have a break from social media.
Yeah, am I doing enough?
Am I doing enough? You start looking at your bank account, you're like, it's not it.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
is that mentality good though at the same time? Like questioning yourself constantly, am I doing enough? Like at what point is that like...
It's healthy.
Like toxic, because I'm of the belief... that you should be having those thoughts like somewhat every single day. Like... Do you get what I mean a little bit? Like just going...
drive. You're talking to drive though. You're saying...
Yeah.
You're pursuing excellence for you.
Yeah.
That's your excellence. It's when your excellence is determined by...
Another person's excellence.
Yeah. That's unhealthy.
And unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. I can right now start going gym today.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm going to start following 10 bodybuilders.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that healthy or unhealthy?
Yeah, that's very
and
unhealthy.
that's all you're seeing. You're only seeing one part of the
just
gym.
All bodybuilders. I just started gym today. I'm going to follow these bodybuilders. Is that healthy or unhealthy?
Unhealthy.
I think... No.
Build on that. Why is it unhealthy?
Because you're only seeing... the best of the best, and you're not seeing the progress it takes to get there, and you're thinking that it's going to happen instantly.
That's
okay, so that's the thing. Look at this. You got to acknowledge before that obviously, because this is the difference here. What I'm saying is drawing inspiration, not wanting to be in another man's shoes. You know, like for example, if someone's doing good for themselves, having that fine line recognition, okay, cool, Allah Mubarak, that person's doing well, you know, but it serves inspiration to myself where it's like, okay, cool, I'm not going to get where they are instantly, but I'm going to push towards some sort of progression. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, if I see you, like, let's just say if I'm having a slump day and then I've like it seeps or like whatever, I'm not down like that, or let's just say with the podcast, I'm not in a creative bag or whatever, you know, and then I see another person, I guess, doing well. I don't look at that as like, oh, why are they doing well? I look at it as also in a way where it's like, I could also be doing as well. Does that make sense? Like, it's the doing aspect of it. It's like,
you got a good heart. You got a very good heart too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's on. But
I think it's good. You got to be real with
real
yourself.
with it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
the
saying.
thing. You got to be real with yourself.
Real. I think everything serves as inspiration. I think that your mind's depending on how you wire it.
It's perception.
And how you perceive it.
Yeah.
100%. And you never want to say, I deserve that. Or I want that. Yeah. But what you're seeing is a finished product.
Yeah.
Where your process right now is not a finished. You're not looking at a finished product.
Not at all.
You should be looking at what?
The progress throughout.
The progress. Yeah. You shouldn't be looking at, you know, bodybuilders, you know, oiling up and a finished product. You should be looking at form videos. Be looking at different. You're at a different stage.
Correct.
In the process. Your physique or whatever's building or that's your aspiration. Physique. I'm just assuming that someone's trying to sculpt a perfect physique, right?
Facts. Yeah.
Then you'd progress in what you're looking at. There's stages to it. But I think if you expose yourself to too much too early, it can demotivate somebody and put a fake, you know.
That's where I agree on.
The fallacy around this is now your standard. It's not your standard. You're starting.
Yeah.
Your building block. Life's got levels to it.
Yeah.
Graduate through levels, because if you skip levels, yes, you may get it fast. You'll fall hard.
Yeah.
And even faster. So you got to understand is what somebody can't take away from you is those years of experience, years of hard work. They've put that in. Let's assume they're free of any substances or enhancements. They put in 20 plus years of dedication to sculpt that figure.
It's also a skill set you develop along the way.
Big fact.
Which
Discipline.
requires, like those skills that you require to get to that point.
To get to that point, And there's, it's just...
lived experience especially as well.
But people got to be patient, man. Just be patient. Like, I think I'm talking about me right now. As I'm talking to you, this is therapy for me. I'm just going to be honest with you.
All of us.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not... I'm talking, but I'm reminding myself, be patient. Because a lot of time we think, like, I should be somewhere else right now.
Yeah, no.
And I know I should, But it's like, chill. You're exactly where you need to be. And this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordains you to be right now, to go through what you need to go through, so that later you be of higher value.
Correct, yeah.
You get me?
It takes time to build that like mentality where it's like you enjoy the moment or you accept what is as of now.
Yeah.
Is meant to be. And that's where like that quote sort of comes in, the comparison is a thief for joy.
Yeah.
Because it's taken away of that like current moment that is like right now. And because you don't go enjoying life when you sort of do that as well.
And when you're looking to your left and right.
Left and right. And then
when you're looking to your left and right and you're seeing people and you're constantly measuring up against them, you're going to become an envious person. That aura and energy.
Yeah.
We transmit that, bro. Like, have you been around people, you're like, I don't know what it is, bro. I just can't.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? I think that sometimes it's people you feel a vibe from someone that's unhappy for you, or or kind of is watching you a little bit too much, you know what I mean? And
that's the standard as well.
And I never get upset at people for that. I just feel for them. Yeah. And I pray that you heal whatever you're going through and whatever's happening, and because no one's life's sweet, bro. Everybody's got something.
Yeah.
Everybody's, got a stress point,
Facts.
I've got 50 million things I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah.
That is stressful.
Yeah.
Some things that I can't, out of my control.
Facts, yeah.
That I'm just gonna keep rolling.
True.
Yeah.
I think that's what social media doesn't show. I think it kind of puts people on pedestals. It shows the best of their work. Yeah, there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. But I think it's also the wiring of how you think.
Yeah.
Where, because I don't think social media puts them on pedestals. I think we subconsciously put them on like pedestals. And this is one of those things where, like, going back to our first conversation when we were talking about the podcast, where it's like, if someone was to ask me what I enjoy about the conversation we have with the podcast, it's everyone is just a human that has a different shared experience, you know? Like, you've lived a life. Next person has sort of lived a life, you know? And that guy who's now in the UFC has also lived a life, you know? But we've made the UFC a grand thing. We've made this thing a grand thing. We've made Joe Rogan such a big person. But it's like Israel Adesanya was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and they was talking about that first ever moment where Israel met, let's go Joe Rogan. He goes, do you remember that? Joe Rogan, no, I don't remember that. But Israel remembered it specifically, like point for point, because Israel made him seem like he was, I don't know, some sort of like
subhuman.
Like subhuman. Yeah. And I feel like that's what social media does to us as well. It's like we wide our brain to, and I do it too, everyone does it.
But we portray that too. You said it wasn't social media.
Yeah.
Social media, Instagram
amplifies it.
That's what it's, Instagram is there to show the best of your
highlights, yes.
It's the polished. It's the most polished version of you, right? Every platform serves for a different thing, you know. Twitter gives you 250 characters.
Yeah.
To tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's encouraging condensed thinking, right? There's every platform has a TikTok. What is it?
It's the ADHD, man.
Video, just a
bang, bang, bang
in your face.
Correct.
In your face, just constant.
I think all of this as well. It all goes down to our problem. Probably in today's day and age, it's too much information. You know, like we're just so connected. Have you ever been camping before?
I have been camping before.
Okay, we've got to go on a camping trip.
We've got to do camping.
We've got to do a camping trip.
Yeah, I'm not the best camper though.
Doesn't matter, man.
I'm not the best camper. I struggle. In
the gym right there. Went on our first camp.
Yeah. How did you go?
Hey, tell him.
So good.
Best thing ever?
Nah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
on that trip.
I struggle too. I struggle.
Bro, it's not easy, bro. But
I do camp events.
Ah.
Yeah, so I took the whole family on camper vans.
Correct. Yeah.
So because I don't like the floor, I should like the floor though, man. Like rocks. Did ya?
Yeah, on the ground.
Yeah, that's why you struggled. Yeah, that's why you struggled. I used to work for an organisation called Duke of Edinburgh.
Okay.
Have you heard of Duke of Edinburgh Youth Award?
No. I know the Commonwealth thing.
Duke, it's his. He created it. His
King or whatever.
Yeah, it's his award that he created, Duke of Edinburgh. But there's a global international recognised award, and we have a part of. It's got 3 tiers, golds. I'm not going to promote that. Yeah. They're not paying me right now. So it's a youth award. There's levels to it and whatnot. One of the categories to get the award is adventurous journey. Yeah, and camping at different levels. Obviously, the gold is a bit long, a bit more time. But as part of it, because we worked in the team, I was one of the program managers. We did a team camping trip as well, and that was the first time I actually went camping. When I was working, first time, actual tents and you know, and that was my introduction to it, which was interesting.
Yeah, correct. Because we don't come from a background where we go camping. Like
we do glamping.
We do glamping.
We do glamping.
I'm going camping.
We like outdoors, though.
We do, yes.
We like outdoors,
but it's got to be an Airbnb.
Standard.
We want to control it.
Yeah.
We don't like insects.
No, we don't.
We don't like mosquitoes.
Nah.
We don't like inconvenience.
Yeah, rafad basically.
We don't like it. You know,
we don't like sleeping on the floor.
It's kind of like a modern day young person wanting success.
Gotcha.
But not what everything else he comes with. Yeah. That's the perfect way to look at it.
It's the fast money.
It's the fast money.
That's what it is.
It's Instagram.
Yeah, it is, man.
It's Instagram. We want that picture.
Yeah, exactly.
We want the picture at camp. We don't want to sweat for it.
Correct, yeah.
You know
we want to take a photo of nature, but we want to go back home into that Airbnb.
I want to go on a hike to get to the top, but at the end of the hike, I'm going to be sweating and I'm going to look not the part.
Yeah.
And the picture's not going to look Instagram worthy.
Exactly.
So how do I get to that pinnacle?
Yeah.
So I can take a great flash picture.
Correct.
Hold it. Life is good.
Yeah.
Motivational piece.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
And keep going.
Correct. But you got to mute.
What do we do? How do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we get that picture at the top of that hike?
Yeah.
Without being drenched, without having sweat patches.
Muting it so you're not panting in the background.
Sorry about the mic guy. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
But how do we do that? That's
Okay.
life right now. That's the
Yeah.
life we're living in today.
Yeah.
That is true, man.
That is the life we're living in, and that's I feel for young people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Banning social media is the answer.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I don't think this bill that's trying to be passed around 16 years old. How the hell are you gonna tell a young person that you can't have social media until 16?
They'll figure it out anyway.
How?
Yeah.
I think we got to do things. I don't have the answer, by the way. I don't. Well, I don't.
But shouldn't they be investing in educating young people on how to use social media?
Yeah.
True.
definitely.
Look at how
How using your time.
Look at the censoring, the stage of censoring we're at. Censorship.
Yeah.
We're disempowering our young people.
Mm-hmm.
We're telling them you're not capable of navigating this space until you're 16.
Correct. Yeah.
By stripping and disempowering our young people, I think that you're opening them up to, you're opening them up to either rebelling, and going harder and faster than they would have.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Is this
We're
band
not we're not educating
the
them.
Australian band that they're trying to introduce?
They're trying-
the 16-year-old band.
It's been. I think it's almost been passed.
I think for
it's-
next year.
I think it's already been passed. I think.
Wait, so how many people meant to follow that?
You tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
You tell me.
Problem.
And is that what does that become? Like, how are you going to govern that? How are you going to police that?
And what's the reasoning behind it?
Have you spoken to Gmail and said you can't create email addresses until you're 16?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
how are you going to do? Like, there's so much you're going to do, and the parents are not even fully in agreement with it.
Yeah.
Parents are saying, "Yo, our kids need rights, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Why are you telling us what to do? Like, why are you telling our kids?" But it should be it should be education piece. There should be investment in education.
Yeah.
Do you see how those type of solutions are disconnected from reality?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening. There's people making policy that are disconnected from the reality.
Yeah, definitely.
So we want to bridge the gap between policymakers and the people.
I think that's education in general. I work at a high school, and a lot of the policies.
Are you an educator?
Yeah, I'm a teacher,
You're a teacher
at a high school.
Okay. Shout out to our teachers real quick.
Yeah, honestly.
Shout out, you guys got a tough gig, bro.
Because my first
You guys
year
got
at
a tough
a high
gig.
school, last year I was like at
Yeah.
an institute, private one,
Yeah,
language learning,
yeah.
and I'm at a Muslim school, and you still see like the education system since I was, oh my God, back in the day, yeah, if we want to use that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing. It's like we've evolved so much as a society. Why hasn't the education system changed as well? And it's just super disappointing because all these policies
tough, yeah.
have stayed and maintained are probably from people that haven't even been inside the classroom, interacted with kids on a daily basis. It's just like so disappointing that
What's the problems with the education? Are you allowed to speak about it a little bit? 'Cause
yeah, we can talk more. But I'm not here in my education capacity.
yeah,
And
facts.
yeah, I can't talk for the department.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But shoot the question.
No, because I was going to
Talk
ask.
more broadly.
like,
Yeah.
it's going to be just a wild question. Like, are schools necessary?
100%.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Because a lot of people make the argument in terms of
Okay, I will ask you.
post school.
Yeah.
Post school, a lot of the skills that I don't have, that I've been taught, like let's just say math methods and all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
doesn't prepare me to do my taxes. Doesn't prepare me to navigate my relationship with a future missus or something.
If you think schools is going to take the place of the parents' responsibility to open their kids up to experiences and educate their kids and provide them with the skill sets, the mindset, the development,
Okay.
it's the parents' responsibility to lead that journey. You know what I mean? School does part of that.
Yeah.
It gives them discipline. It gives them routine. How important is routine?
Very, very important.
Yeah.
Very.
Take school out. Scrap school. Defund schools. Education system's gone.
Yeah.
What happens to our kids?
Yeah, what do they do?
I have to go to work. Where are they going to go?
What did they do back in the days?
You got to say where you comparing it though.
Yeah.
We're comparing it in which context? In the Western worlds, or we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Western world. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So in different settings, it's different approaches. There's different sense of community, different stresses.
True.
we're talking in a capitalist world here.
Correct, yeah. And I think the routine bit you're so right about, you know.
Kids need routine.
I tell kids a lot of time as well, it's not about whether or not your school's for you.
Yeah.
Build good habits. So it's just, even if you're here, be disciplined enough to be on time. Just build small habits that's going to serve you in the real world. School is not going to give you everything you need, and it's not going to serve everybody. It can't. Some people say, "Oh, school builds employees or whatnot." School builds character. Yeah, if you can build good character and commit to getting better every day, building some skills, even if the content itself you haven't fully benefited from, you'll be better.
Correct.
Later, post school life, if you can work on overcoming that.
Thanks.
For me, I lack discipline, bro. Part of the issue is I was getting in trouble. I lack discipline.
Yeah. I
got bored easy, and I couldn't stay in the same. I start something, I can't finish it. I get so I'm just like, what's next? You know.
Yeah.
So part of it, even though at one point I wanted to quit my degree, I just said I have to do it.
I have to, yeah.
Because I don't even care at this point about the degree. I just didn't care about it, but I have to finish it.
Yeah.
Because I just need to tell myself that I started something and I finished it. Up to that point, I started that many courses, but I was finding reasons to pull out and shift and whatnot. So schools are very important. To be honest with you, it's just, but school's not.
It's not the be or end all.
It's not the be or end all.
End all, yeah. And I think that discipline thing you're talking about is very, very important, because today's day and age, if we link it to like even social media, one of the biggest problems we have is like that instant gratification.
Yeah.
But going back to that comparison thing, sometimes all it is just waiting it out. And because you haven't been told or taught about discipline, not everything in life comes easy and whatnot. You sort of expect it straight away. So it's like, if this is not bringing me something right now, like this degree, I can't see the cash flowing from it. If I can't see a job from it,
it's
bang, let me leave it. You know. How do you build discipline then? And would you say, you said I struggled with it then? Would you say you still struggle with it now?
Nah, some aspects, yeah.
Some aspects, yeah.
I need to get back in the gym. I got to get fitter. It's not that I lack discipline. Yeah. It's not my priority at the moment.
Gotcha.
It needs to be my priority.
Yeah.
If I decide it's my priority, I'm very disciplined.
It's up there. Yeah.
You'll make it happen.
I'll make it happen. And I'll get back in shape. And I've done that.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's just not my priority right now. Just where my mind is at.
Yeah.
Just the things on my plate. It's not an excuse, and it will be a priority.
Yeah.
It needs to be a priority. Because that's one of the most important things around me, right? How do you build it is by doing things, completing it, irrespective of how you feel. Take feelings out of it, getting things done, and doing them to the best of your ability, or even not, just finish it. Just see it through. Because quality comes after repetition, after a certain time, you get better. You're like, finishing is the first milestone. Seeing it through. The next person, the next time, finish it, but be quicker. Do you know? And then the third, you might be just now looking at your form. Now, because you're getting hurt every time you're doing something or you're running. So it's about, you're just constantly improving, evolving. So I think it's just by doing the work, man. I think it's just seeing things through.
Doing the reps, yeah.
Doing the reps. I think the formula is simple in life, man. It's not hard. It's just, how many people are going to do it? How many people are going to actually see it through it?
Facts, yeah.
That meant so much to me, man. Just graduating, you don't understand what it meant for me. Having my 3 kids there as a graduation, you know what I mean? It's I can't tell you. Yeah. That was one of the moments where you're like,
you never forget.
I can't forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. It's just, there was that Marvel Stadium. I was there. I'm just sweating. 40-degree day. Yeah. And I'm like,
I made it. I made it.
Try not to cry. Because it's on the paper. Yeah. You know what it was? It was everything to that point. You're like,
it's a symbol of hard work.
Symbol of hard work.
Yeah.
Having
persistence.
Because leave work, my day job, and then going to Request Braybrook. I was doing a customer service role there at the the Request, the gymnasium, the rec center. Doing from 5 to 9, and just was just a messy period, bro, at that time. Then going to Latrobe Library, doing my assignments between, during exam periods. Because Latrobe, shout out to Latrobe, they were open till late night.
Correct, yeah, 12 a.m.
12 a.m. And I used to love that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Heidelberg at the time. This is when I was in Heidelberg as well. And I was just doing that Latrobe run, back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. It was like 3 minutes from my house. It was perfect. I never studied at Latrobe, but part of the degree is shout out to Latrobe for it.
Do you ever reflect on those periods of time and just look back and have a bit of reminiscing?
It was stressful, bro.
Yeah.
It was stressful.
Do you enjoy the stressful times?
Not then.
Okay. Not in the moment, obviously.
Not in the moment.
But when you reminisce, it's like,
I hated it. Now when thinking about it, I'm smiling thinking about it, right?
It's fun, yeah, correct.
Because you overcame it. I didn't enjoy none of the last, 10 years of the work. I'll be honest with you.
Correct, yeah.
The last 13 years, the work was hard. But when I reflect on it, I enjoy the reflection.
Correct, yes.
Of where that work has now got me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I still think there's so much more to go, and the story isn't written. But it's this week, busy week, bro. It was a hard week, yeah. Work-wise, the things that were coming up, and a lot going on.
Yeah.
Outside of work, the projects I was working on, busy. It was everything coming together. University marking. It was just everything.
Big one, yeah.
This time next year, I'm going to reflect on this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to feel proud.
Exactly.
Not now. I'm exhausted now. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you.
You cannot enjoy the stress when you're within the stress.
In it, yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, correct.
It's just do the work, reflect later.
Laugh later, yeah.
Just do the work now.
Yeah, correct.
Cry through if you have to. Just get it done. If I don't do the marking, what happens?
There's no results from them.
I have to do that marking. There's people waiting on their portal, checking their grades. Why is it not getting uploaded? It has to get done, right?
That is true, yeah.
I have a session we're delivering in front of 60 professionals. I have to turn up and deliver that, right? So the work has to get done. Or co-deliver that alongside Hannah. It has to get done. These problems that have to troubleshoot, they got the potential of being a level 3 problem to a level 10 problem if someone doesn't intervene. You got to support, right? So the work is always going to be there. The stresses are always going to be there. I don't have a choice. I have to have the discipline to get this done, or else these things fall over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
I don't feel like doing any of them.
Correct, yeah.
Any of them.
But you got to remove the emotions from it.
I don't feel like doing any of them at all. And on top of that, I'm a father. I've got family. I've got other stuff that are going on.
Yeah.
What do I do in that instance?
Put your head down, man.
Do I feel sorry for myself? Do I reflect in the moment? Do I think about Muhammad?
No.
Not the right time.
Not the right time. You know what I mean? I enjoy putting out videos. I haven't put out a video in 2 months.
Yeah.
I have no time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
When I get time,
I'll
jump back on that train.
Correct. And I think that's the other thing as well. It's like if you don't show up to those things that require your presence, there's consequences at the end of it, As in with the portal situation and being a present father, present husband, all of that. A lot of the things that I guess with the younger people, it's like, I guess they didn't, and I say we, don't realize the consequences for our actions. Like for every action, there's sort of like a reaction. There's something behind it all, and it all goes back to being in service of other people as well, because when you're in service of other people, it's like, okay, cool. This doesn't just affect me now. Yeah. It affects A, B, C, and D.
Do you find as well, even in today's society, like obviously it's linked with consumption and social media and all, that we rely too much on our feelings in a way? Like I'm talking in terms of watching motivation videos, as an example.
I'm guilty of watching a lot.
Like he's basically saying,
I watch a lot of motivation.
Should we be listening to Andrew Tate when he says, don't listen to your emotions? Soft life.
He's got about, you know what I'm a big believer in?
You like Andrew?
I'm not going to say I like Andrew Tate. I'm not going to say it's trying to give me
waiting for it.
By the way, very good answer.
I'm going to say something to you though.
Yeah.
I think you can take good from anywhere. I'm a believer in, I don't examine, or I'm not of the belief of I have to agree with everything
Yeah.
or the values or the decisions of every person that I listen to.
Yeah.
But I can listen to their messaging or a message openly and take good from a poor messenger. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is without trying to get cancelled. There's elements of what certain individuals say that connect with my belief system and how I see the world. But then there's a point that often comes where they lose me.
Yeah, correct.
But does that mean the first part of what they've said holds no value? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying we're in a cancel culture. This is the culture that we're living in today. This is the unfortunate circumstance we're in.
Yeah.
We're trying to cancel people, not thoughts. We're trying to cancel entire. You're gone. Ali, you're out of here. Anything you say from now on, your mic shut out. No one can follow you. No one can listen to anything you got to say.
Good or bad.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
But he's still got value.
Yeah.
He just has a one point of view, thinks the earth's flat. Does that mean you're gone?
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? They tried to do it to, I think Kyrie one time said
Kyrie,
it.
yeah. But he's a little wonky though.
He's not wonky, bro.
No. Hear me.
Yeah.
The flat earth thing's a bit wonky. No pun intended, by the way.
He retracted that though.
Nah,
I'm
on the
pretty
stream
sure.
the other, he did.
He retracted it though.
He did, but I'll tell you, this is why I say he's a bit wonky. And mind you,
He's close.
I love
his brother Kyrie now, yeah?
Yeah, his brother guy.
His brother Kai.
Brother Khalid.
Yeah, but
brother Khalid.
his brother Kai, yeah. Hey,
But
he's
like
close.
he said recently on the stream, this is where I say he's not wonky overall, but he's wonky in his thought patterns a little bit. In the sense that, like, for example, just the other day when he was on that Kai stream, you know, the whole flat earth thing, like, oh, you believe in the flat earth thing, whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. But he didn't go to the full extent of what he used to. But, like, the fundamental belief of the earth being flat is still there within him. That's why I say he's a little, like, you know, wonky. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like guys like Kyrie, though, because they're not, how do I say, linear thinkers. You know, they don't think of the world, like, from a typical point of perspective, you know, so it's good for like thoughtful discussions and whatnot. Because when the whole flat earth thing was going about, like I was like, oh, is the earth actually flat? You know what I mean?
But he got you thinking.
He got me thinking.
How do you know that wasn't his objective?
Oh, to get me thinking?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think it was. I think what it was he just said whatever he believed in the moment, and because he's in a position of influence, it got a lot of people thinking, you know. And but that's the thing, we need those thoughtful discussions. You know, and then we need to put them on like, okay, that's a bit wild, and this is a bit, but we can't like ban it off altogether. I think that's the problem with like censorship and what's going on now.
I think Kyrie is a rebellion. He's a rebellion figure. I think that's
to rebelling to
everything.
White culture.
That's common thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything. I think there's a movement now. There's censorship. There's cancel culture.
Yeah.
There's
the red pill movement.
They're incentivizing not thinking.
Yeah.
Or groupthink.
Yeah.
That's what trends are.
Yeah.
What's social media? Trends. Everything. Trend sound. There was a time where you need to think, oh, I like this video. What kind of track goes with this video?
Yeah.
Because I want to curate this experience with this video.
Yeah.
Now what are we doing? They're programming us to now. No, forget how you feel. Go now to the trending top 50.
Correct.
And now you're connecting to what's going on. What's the latest dance? What's the latest this?
They say this is the new warfare. That's what they say. Because before you used to fight men, like I used to fight you. You're from a different nation. I'm a different nation. One-on-one, we'll duke it out. You know, I'll call you out.
Yeah.
And then now, in order to start wars or cause destruction within a nation or society, especially like with the whole thing with China and whatnot, America and Russia, you influence the thought of everyday people. You know, because individually, Muhammad, you're just one person. You know, but 1 million Muhammads or 50 million Muhammads together combined up with a single can overthrow a government. You know what I mean? Can overthrow. And that's why, like, for example, with Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that's why it was such a fundamental move. Because before then, everything was like everything was controlled. You know what I mean? What you fed on TikTok was one thing. What you fed on Instagram was one thing. And you see it with like the whole Israel-Palestine thing, you know. There's more thoughtful, somewhat more thoughtful discussions. You'll get more of a variety if you were to go on Twitter compared to if you go to Instagram. Because if you go on Instagram, your story is blocked. You know, you can't have a discussion about such and such, you know. And it's changing now. Donald Trump got elected.
Just double down a little bit. I won't get too deep into the Palestine-Israel situation, but I'll tell you this. I'll just say this to you. What they're being asked to do is separate peace from freedom.
Correct.
You can't separate the two. I think Malcolm makes it as well.
Yeah.
You cannot separate peace from freedom because to be peaceful requires, you know, an element of freedom. You know what I mean? You can't deprive one of their freedom and expect them to be peaceful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
That's what you see now. Zoom out there. I mean, that kind of summarizes how I feel about that situation.
Yeah.
But that's how in life. That's how it is. To be a free thinker is that's gonna bring you peace.
Facts. Yeah.
To be a group, to your thinking to be determined by a trend or how things are going to be perceived or what's going to go viral, the virality of your thought. You can see how
it's not really free,
and the quality of the thoughts is going to be impacted.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what we're seeing today. So I think that's where education is good. I think education counters that. One thing university teaches you is to critically think, right?
Nice.
And people don't understand. There's deeper, bro. It's to actually sit down, to read a piece of text and to really reflect on it. Do you know how healthy that is?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
How often do we watch a video and then really reflect on it? So these days,
Almost never.
it's almost never.
Yeah.
It's either entertainment and it's just clickbait.
Yeah.
It's just, but university told us, okay, this is so and so. Tell me why you agree with them, why you don't agree with them. What's the evaluate?
Correct. Yeah.
The claims, the evidence.
And what have you concluded from that?
What have you concluded from that?
Yeah.
If we were to use that structure in our everyday lives, that's counters
True.
the culture that's being pushed today, and the very things that's being shoved down our young people and even our adults is feed. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I forgot where we started.
No, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I want to reel it back into a conversation we're having early in the podcast.
Yeah.
In terms of your work with the youth and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't touched on that like appropriately. I was going to ask, could you tell us like a story or like a moment that's like been heavy, like in terms of dealing, just so we can like grasp sort of like the work that you sort of like do, you know, because a lot of people speak about the sides of the youth, what they're going through. We can't see it, we don't understand, you know, and you're directly like in the front lines working with these youth, you know, trying to make a change.
There's a lot, man. So it's different from my day job and the type of young people that I deal with, yeah? So if you can look at education, my day job, I just kind of see, I'm in the prevention area. So kids that are engaged in education or becoming disengaged. Just 2 weeks ago, just getting a picture sent to me from a young person's older brother and their cousin saying, so-and-so's graduated. Here's the picture. Where that young person was struggling, there was a bit of conflict going on. You know, I can't get into too much detail, but just that kind of, those moments where early in the year, it looked like a certain path was going to happen, and that young person is graduated.
Yeah. And
then you see that same young person at your barbershop.
Yeah.
And he comes to you and goes, bro, you know, you don't know me, but I'm so-and-so. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? This is real. This is not a story, you know, and this is and this is real people that it's I've impacted. There's a lot of those stories. Then there's the times where you go and speak with someone that's in a justice facility, that you connect with, that you've forgotten about.
Yeah.
That will tell you something like, bro, you have, opened my eyes up at what's possible, or where my life can go, or what's possible, or whatnot. And when I go into the justice facilities, I don't come wearing trackies, bro. You know what I mean? I'll come to show them in my professional capacity and show them this is how my life looks, bro.
Right.
And it's not that your attire matter dictates what, and there's nothing wrong with coming trackies, but I'm showing them, bro, I'm not going to dress so that you're comfortable with me, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna talk down and bring my level down so that I can resonate. I'm gonna show you that if whatever path you decide to go down, that it's possible. That you can connect with, you can see it through whatever path you want to go.
Yeah. Correct.
And I think that you need people that are in the creative space to come with their certain flavor and whatnot, and everyone to come different, their worlds, right? And that's what I try and do. I don't try and sell them anything. I don't try and tell them anything I wouldn't or haven't done.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't think I'm better than anyone. I don't think that my words carry any more significance than anybody around me. And but just move with humility, bro. And I think that's what resonates with the young people the most, bro. In what I do, there's a lot of stories, but I just can't share a lot of the stories. I'll even share the pictures with you of those young people and whatnot. But it's like it's very hard to identify. Yeah, you've got to keep that.
Did you have that person when you were in the system?
Nah.
Is that what motivates you then?
Yeah, nah. I didn't have. Not anyone that looked like me.
Yeah. Why was that? Was it because was it a taboo coming from?
I hid it for a long time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I didn't talk about it for about 10 years. I spoke about it first time in 2022. 10 years. Because I was working on myself for 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Long journey.
I didn't go through and come out and say,
yeah, look at me. I've come out straight away.
10 years. I was too busy. I think I was too busy.
Yeah.
I was too occupied. At 12
a.m. in Latrobe Library.
Yeah, I was occupied. And I was figuring out things, man. So maybe you could have done it sooner, but it took me 10 years to feel comfortable, bro. And for things to get expunged as well. So there's in Victoria, thankfully, there's a period where things get cleared up.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
Once it got cleared up, I said,
yeah, correct.
Give me the mic.
But now give
me the mic, let me say a few things.
The good side of it now is, I guess, like going back to that representation where there's everyone from different flavors. Everyone has something sort of like to bring onto the table. Where the young guys who don't know any better, they can draw inspiration. Whether it's someone that's dressed like you or someone that's dressed in trackies or Ali who runs a marathon.
I wear trackies, by the way. So it's nothing but different settings, different contexts.
Correct.
I'm just saying don't downgrade what you can uplift, is what I'm saying.
Correct, yeah.
Don't downgrade your attire to fit in, upgrade, or be you so that you can lift.
Inspire, yeah.
But people, that's what they tend to do is when they come in down, what do? They strip themselves of their reality. You get me? My reality is I'm not here now. Yeah? My mind is at another level. So I'm not going to can't bring my mind down, even though I understand it.
Yeah.
But I want you to strive.
Yeah. Correct.
I want you to think, stretch for your thinking. Not that I'm a superior thinker. It's just that we're just at different levels right now.
Correct, yeah.
That's all it means. You can get to level 50 times ahead of me because your potential is greater. You get me? And I'll probably reach my ceiling. That's the reality. So I'm not better than you. I'm just at a higher level right now.
Correct, yeah.
And that's how I see every young person I'm talking to. It's saying I'm better than no one. I'm just at a point now, but you need to see that you can not only reach, you can smash where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. So it's you had a question just then. What was the question?
I was gonna ask, growing up in Australia as a Somali, who I guess is a Somali Australian Somali, however way you want to put it. How much does that play or played an impact now that you're on the other side of seeing things, plays a part in like shaping one's like identity, Because I've always thought about this thought, you know, because like have you been back to Somalia?
2016.
You went back to Somalia.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're Somali?
150%.
You feel like you're correct. Do you think
Somalis you can get? Yeah.
Do you think the Somalis there think you're Somali?
Not at all.
They don't. And then over here in Australia, like you think you're Australian, you are. You know what I mean? You can't deny it.
Very much so.
Very much so, yeah. But then there'll be
just as much as Pauline Hanson.
Just as much as Pauline Hanson.
Just as much as Pauline
exactly.
Hanson.
Or Peter Dutton.
Peter Dutton. Old mate Dutton.
But then there's certain people like those guys who would be like, they will see you as Somali first, or they'll see you as African first and whatnot. Yeah. You know, so that conflicting like sort of identity where I guess where you're neither at home wherever you go somewhat.
You're not enoughness.
You're not enough yet. How much does that play with, like maybe we'll speak about you and maybe with sort of the kids or the community work that you do. How much does that play impact, you know? Loaded question.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. I've worked in predominantly white spaces my whole professional life. When you work in white spaces, and this is not an us and against conversation, but when you work in predominantly white spaces, right, you tend to develop coping mechanisms to survive certain environments. So that will mean stripping parts of you down so that you can fit that piece of puzzle into the corporate culture.
Yep.
It happens everywhere. Education, you'll see it in education. We see it in everywhere we go, right? What happens to the point where you start stripping yourself so much to fit in that little piece that you get, that you lose who you are and the person that makes us unique. Diversity is a strength, right?
It is.
We lose that diversity. We become, we conform to our environment, we conform to our places of work or the communities that we belong to, and we strip ourselves of our actual identity, and then we lose our value. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, facts.
It makes it even more complex when we're going home and then you can't speak the language as good as you need to be to communicate. So you're not here, you're not here, you're not here. You know, you're not African or Somali enough, you're not Australian enough. Where do you fit in that piece? And my answer to that question is we need to understand that even though we are African, Somali, Australian, we're individuals as well. Yeah? We need to maintain our individuality. And we need to find our, a way to not fit in, but to value add in these environments. If that tweak just then, cultures are not meant to be, you're not meant to fit into a culture. You're meant to add value. To fit in is to say that's the best practice. To value add is to acknowledge that there's a room for improvement. On your pod here, for instance, have you reached the pinnacle of where you're trying to get to?
Not even close.
No.
If somebody comes in from the outside and joins your team and is a weird or out-of-the-box thinker, initially, what would be your response?
This guy's a bit wonky.
It's a bit wonky.
It's a strange.
Kyrie's a bit wonky.
Yeah.
It's normal, right?
We've had that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I believe they're not matching your culture that you've worked hard to establish. Naturally, people, we see them as disruptors. That's what they're called.
Correct. Yeah.
Disruptors or loud or unconventional people. But they're the ones that move that needle.
That's true.
They're the ones that push it. And we're that. We have value to add in these environments.
Correct, yeah.
But the environment isn't completely ready for us. And that's what's happening. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you're in a non-traditional but predominantly non-Muslim setting, whether you're black and you're African in a predominantly white setting, if you're a woman in a predominantly male setting.
Correct, yeah.
Do you see the angles? What's happening?
Correct, yeah.
We're getting stripped down to fit in, where we should not be trying to fit in. We should be trying to add value.
Correct, yeah. And there is value to add. That's the other thing. It's different.
And then your value is not determined by how you're received.
Yeah.
Because that just means the environment isn't ready for you. And if the environment isn't ready for you, go find another environment or create your own.
That's true, yeah.
That's where we need to get to as a community.
Correct.
That's, I feel, a lot of the time I spent, my time in these environments, I've lost parts of myself, bro. You have to find
those sides of it.
Do you get?
Yeah. And Australia is a very young country as well. Because if you go to, do you remember that time I bumped into you
in Dubai?
At the airport. Yeah.
It was a random one.
Very, very random.
That was a dirty flight, by the way.
And dirty on my side too,
dirty
man.
On my side.
You gone to LA game?
LA, but I don't know why we got to Dubai. I don't know. So till now, that was
Tell
one
us
of the
story.
hardest. That was the hardest. I couldn't get my, to go to America, you need your, you need your visa, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't get that in time. I had tickets booked, but I didn't have a visa.
Yeah.
Last minute, we're rushing. I don't know for whatever reason, but last minute.
Yeah.
I had tickets in San Francisco. We had the Lakers game.
Yeah.
Tickets booked for the Golden State game.
Yeah.
And we pushed our flight twice at this point because we're waiting for this visa. It's not coming. And the last possible time to get our visa, we're at that critical point. We're like, if we don't get the visa by this point, we're going to change our flight. We lose those tickets to the game that we already bought.
Correct.
In LA and in
season opener
in San Francisco. It was.
No, it wasn't. It
wasn't season
a big
opener.
game.
It was in Feb. It was in after All-Star break.
The first All-Star break. That's
and it was the first time after the trade. D'Lo's first game.
Yes.
So when we picked up D'Lo.
Correct. Yeah.
And D'Angelo Russell.
Russell playing that season. Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
He was Russell.
No, it wasn't Russ.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, man, it was D'Lo. It was D'Lo era.
Yeah.
It was right after the Russ.
Russ was gone.
This is right when we shipped him off.
You understand my AD hate now?
Yeah, 88. Yeah,
because I'm a Westbrook fan.
Yeah. I love Westbrook, by the way.
Yeah.
I think we done him dirty, by the way. But anyway, more or less, that flight that we left late. I saw you at the airport after we left from here to Dubai. Then we need to catch up to another flight. That flight was then had a consequence of the delayed. This was the only part to get to.
Correct. Yeah.
At that point, without breaking our arm and a leg. At this point, we've already lost.
Yeah. Along the way. Yep.
So we took the cheapest and effective route.
Yeah.
But not thinking about the actual logistics when you're in. We're humans that have to go through that flight.
Correct.
And it was a tough.
So how long was your layovers?
A couple of hours when you saw you.
Yep.
Back on another one.
Yep.
And then from Dubai to San Fran.
Yeah.
Which was another X amount of hours. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But then we got to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in Golden State, so San Francisco.
Rushed to the game.
Went to the hotel, showered, changed, all that.
Bang.
Straight to the game. Straight to the game from there.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. And then LeBron chooses to sit out that game.
No.
Oh, so that game. My mate went to that one as well.
My glorious king.
I was shattered that game. I was shattered. And in the Uber on the way, checking RotoWire, just the lineups, the updates.
The latest.
Just scan, refresh. I'm like,
wow. That's standard LeBron practice.
And then Steph was injured the week before that game.
Did he play that game though?
No. So no Bron, no Steph.
Yeah, gotcha. You just saw D'Angelo Russell.
and AD.
Stressing your visa for D'Lo.
D'Lo's first game, but we won that game anyway. And then I saw LeBron at the crypto.com the week after.
Gotcha. You watched another game afterwards.
The Pelicans game.
Okay, yeah.
Still got the same.
We still got to see Bron. Yeah, in LA. Yeah. So I went to the other game too.
Correct. So. What I was making at that point, on that trip, I had come back from the UK. I was in both London and Birmingham. Yeah. But one of the things, I guess, traveling teaches you and stuff, especially when you, compare it to, Australia, is how young we are on, the global scale.
Yeah.
Bro, you go to Birmingham, fam, they have, a massive road, and shout out to Birmingham, man. They have a long road, whatever, Coventry Road or something like that. During Ramadan, man, that turns into, like a Muslim country, you
Mashallah,
know. And then after you go to like London and stuff, and even in Birmingham, like the Somali community, and then you go to London, the African community. It's like they're very strong. It's almost like two separate like countries within each other, you know. And as a result of that, they're like, I guess they've made it a norm, I guess, to be like Muhammad, bro. They're like their adhan goes off on the streets.
That's beautiful.
You know, like I guess girls wear jilbabs to what do you call it when they go to work and stuff, because it's become sort of a norm in terms of what their identity is. I think just yesterday I saw a video on TikTok, you know what I mean, of Muhammad being the number one, I think, most popular name for the first time in the UK only, not in the world, just in the UK, overpowering, I think it was like Charles or something like that, you know. I was like, bro, the influence of, I guess, a community and I guess being strong with your identity, that's like a massive thing.
Well, and we need to bring back that pride, bro.
In Australia especially.
Just in general, yeah.
But that'll take time as well, you know.
But it takes conscious effort, bro, and organisation. Organisation, you know, our kids are going to be byproducts of the communities that's established.
Correct, yeah. Speaking of kids, recently,
yeah,
along with the Seed Network, got the name right, you guys shot a documentary. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's shout out to Seed Network, by the way.
Yeah.
So that was a project that Bol pitched to me in May this year.
Yep.
He said, "Look, I've got an idea. I want to do a piece." He had a vision for it. We kind of went back and forth, and we wanted to profile, you know, what parenting looks like. People forget that I'm a father, bro. Like,
why is that?
Because
you're young.
And what I put out a lot of the time is work, bro. You know, I put out work a lot of the time. So a lot of the conferences, a lot of the programs, and the work. It's kind of my thing to put out. You know, I don't put out too much of, maybe a couple of videos here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't really push. People see me out and about. You're doing talks, doing things like.
Yeah.
So they forget that you're more than a professional, bro.
Correct.
And your first primary, you know, responsibility is your kids, bro. So I understand the responsibility that comes with that as well, in raising good kids, and a daughter as well, not just men. But I wanted to remind people that there are great parents, there are people that are you know, young black men that are African, you know, fathers that are trying, bro. They're trying to pour into their kids. They're there. They're trying to be good husbands. They're actually striving, bro.
Yeah.
They're not. You know, they're not looking up and saying, you know, this is how, you know, parent one and parent two did things, and I'm gonna, it's their fault that my life is now gonna be this route, down this route. You know, even in broken homes, you know, no one, I can't predict whether or not I'm gonna have a successful marriage.
Yeah,
I can't predict that.
Yeah, you're not in control.
I'm not in control.
So, yeah.
So I'm at the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His plans for me, my family. Complete full mercy. But what I can control is the type of parent I am to my kids. How I raise my children, how I counter raise my boys in the environment that they're entering.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I just think one of the main reasons I did it, I think young black men are one of the most devalued commodities in Australia, bro. And I think you see that in the media reporting and how they're allowed to get away with so much, you know, bashing of our communities and attacking and demonizing and weaponizing a lot of the kids' traumas that's showing up through their behaviors, and using that to fuel fear-mongering, alienation, and non-productive conversations around a minority group. Even within the minority group that we are, there's a minority group within that. There's even smaller.
Yeah, but they get the biggest image on the media.
They get the biggest image in the media.
Yeah.
Does that not make your blood boil?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that for me makes my blood irritates me. You know, it irritates me that if I hear colleagues or peers talking about things in that lens.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? It's just that's just how I'm wired. So sometimes you got to do conscious acts that are intentional, that is public, which may be uncomfortable when it comes to family, and I grappled with that for this docker. But then I also managed that as well, saying, nah, this is what I'm comfortable, this is my limit, you know? Anything beyond this is too much for me.
Yeah.
So I'll let you in, give you, that's what I would call a small percent, you know? And the stuff that you can't see, you know, that's controlled exposure is what you...
Correct,
is whatnot to protect my kids and protect me as well, you know? And because our life is not meant to be filmed.
Filmed,
yeah. It's not. There's a lot that's
correct. Yeah,
you got to keep in house.
Yeah,
but
facts.
But I also was cognizant of the potential impact that could have on a young father, a young boy that's watching that. That's like, you know,
Right.
that's that is cool. Like that's being a parent is actually a fun responsibility. It's not just a burden.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not a drain on society. It's not a drain on your energy. You're not going to be any less important, man. You know, it's not going to... Kids don't take away from your shine.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. And the documentary is called Raising Men.
Raising Men. Check it out.
Right,
Yeah, go check it out.
People can find that on YouTube. But what has parenting taught you, man? You know, 'cause at what age did you become a father?
21.
21. Alam Mubarak.
Well, like that's...
And there's no manual to parenting. That's what they all say.
There's nothing. There's no manual. But I get a lot wrong, man.
Of course, yeah. That's life.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not a perfect parent, man. I'm not I'll never proclaim to be that. Parenting, what it's taught me is that we get another shot at life through our kids. Do you know what I mean by that? What I mean by that is we get to use everything that we've experienced and impart that knowledge and wisdom onto knowledge thirsty, impressionable,
Yeah.
you know, seeds of yours
Yeah.
that see you as a superhero, as their superhero. Even with all the bullshit that's around
going
you.
on, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you, yeah.
So you get to, you're that guy for them. You're their Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're their Hall of Famer. Whether or not you're deserving of that Hall of Famer title,
You just
you are the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's made me a better leader for that reason. It's made me more selfless. It gives me more energy.
Yeah.
They're my first community. I'm a community service professional, but I'm a community service person because this first service is in the home.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So it's taught me a lot about that, man. Just be patient and also it's given me, that's what it's given me.
Yeah.
You know, so
And they're a sponge, man. There's a part in the documentary I was saying after your young one was going to, I think, JITS class.
Yeah.
And then I think a question was asked, what's one thing, what do you call it? I don't know if it was what do you like about your father. I think it's too direct. What's a quality that for your father that you like? I think that was the question.
Yeah.
And then after he goes, my dad's use of his manners.
Mannerisms,
you know? Bro, and I watched that, and I would have watched that, and I wouldn't have heard you say please or thank you because you're so accustomed to it. It's natural. Do you get what I mean? But then to them, it's like such a big thing. It's like there is an importance to like those little things, like the please and like the thank you. And it goes to show that like your life is always on go, if that makes sense. You're constantly like an example.
They're watching you, man.
Every little thing.
They're watching
to the
everything.
please and the thank yous.
And you asked me a question early on in this conversation. You said, what does the broken home matter? That's one of the biggest differences. You don't get to see the modeling.
Yeah.
They get to see me wake up, get ready, go to work, repeat.
So
Yeah. Be a father, juggle that, come home, boom, let's go to the park, boom, let's, teach them, do the homework, bring out the books, boom. They see all this.
Yeah.
Modeling. That's a big component. What you don't see, like if I don't see, if my proximity to success or successful people is there's a big distance between it. Again, you can bridge that gap, but it's more work. Yeah. And I'm going to need exposure to it and support with that into their worlds and whatnot. So if I'm closer to it, we're rubbing shoulders, I benefit from that.
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? Because you don't have access to it doesn't mean it's impossible. And but it makes it easier if both parents are in the home. But not only just both parents being in the home, but as being active,
being functionally together.
Being functionally and being together. Yeah. And there's a difference between having a mother and father in a home, and then
having a present
mother and father that are pouring into you the right way.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes both parents in the home, it can be destructive. They don't get along. Family violence. A lot of things can happen. Sometimes it's best to part ways for the child's outcome, right? So we have to also think about these things, and we have to reflect on that as well as a community, as a collective.
Correct.
Sometimes it's in the best interest to either seek help and to mend things and get the individuals right, but then also to that's why it's not haram to have a divorce, bro. You know, even though it's not liked, it's
correct.
It's not something that I endorse, you know. But sometimes you understand that why it happens as well.
And I think it's one of those things where it's like a community creates like a collective effort in those things, you know?
Yeah.
Where, so for example, if there are situations in relationships where, you know what I mean, they're tough, you know, instead of bottling that up and just keeping that in that home and creating a toxic environment, you know, there's aspects of the community or there's options out there that are available to make the right choice, you know. It's not just you and your own little world. It affects your bigger community. Why'd you get your kid into jits? Was there a specific reason?
I tried taekwondo.
Because it's different.
They didn't like taekwondo.
Good man.
They hated taekwondo. I wanted them to get in martial arts.
Nice.
So what I wanted them was...
Because if I had kids, I'd do the exact same thing, by the way.
Yeah, I think martial arts, it's very important. It's important. I didn't do martial arts myself, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah? So it's not... I'm not going to say I did it. I saw the value in it or whatnot. I do watch UFC. I do
nice.
Enjoy
getting around the boys.
Enjoy that, and watching it. And I wanted them to be disciplined. I wanted them to be able to stand their ground. Or vice versa, get them on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
You get me? So, and never to be punked, you know, to have the confidence to be able to...
Correct.
Back themselves.
Back in there. So I think jiu-jitsu does that. Kids, when you're younger, fights hit the floor, bro.
Yeah, have to, always.
Always, when you're younger, So it hits the floor. So there's no standing up, and they don't punch. They close their eyes and they run. And they, you know what I mean? So
I know what you mean.
I wanted them to be able to survive that as well, because bullying is actually, it's prevalent, man.
Correct, yeah. And you feel strong. You feel like...
Stronger, confident. Yeah, confident. And it's hard, bro. I'll tell you something, just people don't understand. When I watch my boy getting taken out by a heavier dude on the ground, kind of...
You want to jump in there?
You want to go?
I want to step in. You know?
Naturally.
And I'm looking at get your boy, you know? teach him some manners, you know? You think my son's going to be a confidence boost on him? But he's been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
My kids, this is the year one of jiu-jitsu. Before that, taekwondo is not it. You know?
And jiu-jitsu is one of those things where it's, how do I say, it's like it's different to striking, where you're just throwing things and seeing it land or whatever. Obviously, it's a bit more calculated. There's an art to it. With jiu-jitsu, there's an actual thinking process that's involved. You know, you get put on the ground.
It's pain.
Adjust.
It's
what
pain.
do you do from there?
Yeah.
You know? And just the concept of just, like you said, a bigger boy, strong man, on top of their weight on top of you.
The body, just sitting there saying,
like,
I got you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bro, if you watch it, you're like, this is uncomfortable.
And we done it all the time.
Some of the positions I'm watching, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What you doing to them? But it makes sense. And then what they're being taught is how to counter. Life isn't fair.
Nah, it isn't.
We can't predict the positions we're going to be in. Nah. We have to be able to
find a way out.
Find a way.
Bang.
right now something happens. We got to be able to adjust our body and combat it. You know,
Correct.
that's what it's teaching them.
Or else you get submitted.
You get submitted.
But guess what? There's
He
always
got
a
hit
way
in the
out.
nose one time. His
Yeah.
eyes got teary, and I can see him. He's wiping it.
Yeah.
He's doing this, and he's going again. And I said, this is the most inspirational
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
things. We couldn't put that on camera.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, you can't put that on camera. That's just something you see, and you're like,
Yeah.
and I told him, bro, you know, all the people that you put it over, and
Yeah.
I'm more proud of you this time.
Yeah.
Because I saw the struggle. It's like, you're wiping. He goes, hit me in the nose. I'm like, yeah, hit in the nose.
Mm.
Did you feel sorry for yourself? Did you quit? No, you didn't quit. You kept going. He's 2 years in. You're barely in year one. Don't let that discourage you. Get better.
Correct.
Just work towards it.
Yeah.
As a parents, we gotta be but we're not helicopter parents. I think we gotta refrain. We gotta be careful that we don't want to shield our kids so much that we don't expose them to anything. I used to be able to ride the bike and go experience my neighborhood,
The village.
and the village,
Yes.
right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't let my kids do that. You know, maybe it's the area I live in. Maybe it's the I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
it's maybe there's too many who's. I'm a helicopter parent at times,
Correct, yeah.
and I've got to check that. And it's something that I'm growing in, you know, and trying to get better at.
Yeah, facts.
Because I've got to let my kids fall and
Yeah.
fall.
But you're
and
still
fall.
exposing them to competition, which is great. Many parents won't do
Control.
that.
Yeah. That's why jiu-jitsu. That's why I'm
And
going to
even-
put jiu-jitsu for that.
Even more so the individual aspect of the sport.
Yeah,
You know, Abba can't come in and bang, join in and then help you with this kid.
I can.
You know,
I can.
it's same like the
They'll
team
throw me.
sports.
They'll throw me out of the vicinity.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't hide.
You know?
I can't help you.
Team sports, basketball.
Yeah.
On that day, one of the boys, let's say you're playing pickup.
You're gonna pass, Baylor,
Gonna
and I've
pass
seen
that
him.
bang.
And I've
Yeah.
seen him. I've seen my younger boy one time. I was coaching him in a domestic basketball league,
Yeah.
and he just keeps passing the same. I'm like, why you keep passing to this kid? So how's your game gonna get better if you keep passing to him?
Correct. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
Facts.
it annoyed me so much that he just kept giving it to the kid. Bella, you know, he kept giving it. I'm like, stop giving him the ball. You know, one time, fair enough. Make a play for yourself.
Correct.
You're not here to keep feeding him. He's getting all the shots up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
It's
get-
easy to hide as well in team sports
That's
because
the part.
majority of us grew up with team sports,
That's the
soccer,
part, yeah.
basketball, and you only start to
I was
realize later on.
Yeah, you rely on the team,
Yeah.
you
Because
rely,
these jits and stuff wasn't around. That's the other thing.
and you can avoid the ball. By the way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can
exactly.
avoid responsibility, and you can shy
Correct.
away from those moments.
Mhm.
And we don't want that. That's the that they're the you pick up traits of even in a corporate setting or workplace.
Translates other aspects.
You don't want to be seen. You want to fly under the radar and just do the job.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom, Matt, and John, they want to be seen.
Correct.
And they want to be at the top of getting all the glory for
Yeah.
Correct.
parts of the work that you probably have invested in and probably provided real great ideas towards, contributed to, probably even led. You get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
He's thinking for himself. Like your son, when he's competing, he has to get out of this situation by himself.
Yeah,
It's already making him independent at such a young age.
100%.
That many of us have missed out on those opportunities.
Our communities have it. We have an issue with not wanting to be seen, bro.
What was a moment that's like impacted you, and how has that affected you? That's, I wouldn't say changed your life per se, you know, but has had a massive impact and sort of shifted the way that you sort of think, the way that you look at your life. Whether it's having a kid, marriage, umrah, I don't know, like anything, like from going back home for the first time.
I think all of those things change you, man. I think loss, and I think grief, I think loss and grief the most, bro. You know what I mean? I think that's what changes you the most, bro. Because it puts life into perspective. You know, it's whether he's losing a close friend when very young, you know, in your 20s. He was a bit younger than you as well. Very close brother, a very good friend of mine, family friend. Our parents came to the country together. We grew up together, you know what I mean? And that, I think, does a lot to you, bro. Grandma passing, like, there's grief, I think, does that to you, that helped raise you. I think grief reminds you that these days are limited. Our time on this earth is limited. We stress about things that we shouldn't be stressing about. Instagram, social media. It gives us this feeling of not having enough, not doing enough. I'm burnt out, but I don't have what I should have. You know, because what I should have is what that 20-year-old is getting right now, making everything I'm doing feel obsolete or redundant or just absolutely insignificant. For me, it's just, I think when grief reminds you, it takes you back to that reality of tomorrow is not promised. This next breath that I'm having right now with you, I'm conscious of it now. You know what I mean? Just I'm centered, I'm grounded, I'm grateful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed that on us. So it's about reminding, you know, giving us this opportunity to live this life, opportunity to repent and be better and do better. And I think for me, it's grief. Grief is the only thing that puts life into perspective for me, man. Everything else is there's blessed experiences, good experiences, bad experiences. You know, falling out with friends. There's a lot of things that happen in life that hurts, bro, and it makes us who we are. But all those experiences get trumped when
there's a loss.
When you're at a burial, janaza, you say someone close to you, putting a bit of dirt on their grave. It's that's what one thing I want. It's to be remembered as someone who invested in his community. But I want to be a better Muslim, though. That's one of my areas that I've got to be better in. I've got to be better. Yeah, I'm conscious. I've always been conscious of Deen. Always conscious about. Yeah, I want to strengthen in that area, bro.
Correct. Yeah.
And I want to be a better leader for my family in that area. You know, so that's the area that, inshallah, that I'll be pleased with that, with all of us, man.
And all of us as well. Yeah. It's something we're going to have to answer for one way, whether 100%. We like it or not, you know. You know, when I was earlier asking that question about time and whatnot, those are one of those times, moments where I sort of realized, like, the concept of time. You know, it's something about, what do you call it, not to make this a sorrow podcast or whatever.
Sorrow is good. It's a reminder, man.
It is. It serves as a reminder. That's what it is. The time's only like limited, because sometimes you just go through life. I wouldn't say cruising, but like there's bumps, there's hills, there's this, that. You know, you just go for it. But there's sometimes you just stop, like you get bogged up in that, like, I don't know, quicksand or whatever analogy you want to use. You know, and then you realize, it's really not that deep. You know, and it goes back to that moment where it's like you want to try and enjoy that moment, like then and there. Like this podcast we're doing right now, it's like nothing else matters other than this, you know, for the time being.
You know, when you train, when you go to the gym, for instance, clearly I haven't been there in a minute. I got to get back in.
Yeah.
But have you ever trained and you haven't felt pain? You know what I mean? And you're not feeling that pain.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it?
Worst.
Very frustrating.
It's so we're seeking the pain after we work out.
Sure.
Because we know that pain is associated with
growth.
With growth. Pain is a reminder that we're living. That's all it is. Adversity is a reminder that you're living. Next time you're crying because of your your despair, to be able to feel that pain is a privilege. To feel that level of sorrow and helplessness is a privilege, because you're alive. If you're not alive, you can't feel pain. Which you're trying to live a pain-free life. That's 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Even there's no guaranteed, because everyone's got this different level of pain under there, right? So it's like, which one are you going to take?
I'll take the pain, man.
Above ground.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's a reminder. Just put things in perspective, man. And we're turning this a little bit dark, but I'm a dark guy.
These conversations need to be held sometimes.
I think the dark side is you need the shadow.
Are you motivated by fear or hope?
fear.
Yeah. What about you else?
But my messaging sounds like it's hope.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
My messaging
Correct.
sounds, so my messaging contradicts my internal. But at the same time, because I believe hope is what young people resonate with today. So I'm using that. I don't want, one-on-one when I'm working with young people, I give them that dark side conversation. I don't perpetrate it. I don't push out my messaging as the dark side because it's not for everybody.
You mentioned a bit, but that's not the main message. That's what the main approach.
Yeah, it doesn't what works for me because he asked for what motivates me, right? But I'm cognizant that doesn't motivate young people.
Yeah. So then, how does the fear aspect of it come through?
For me,
Right? Yeah. Because don't you think? Because you know the fear mongering or whatever that the media does. You know what I mean? Don't you think also in a way we should take a bit of that aspect and control it ourselves?
No, because what the media is doing is demonizing. You don't demonize. I'm demonizing.
No, not demonizing. Yeah, definitely not demonizing.
Demonizing doesn't motivate me.
Yeah.
What motivates me? The fear of not being the best I can be.
Yeah.
Not living the most authentic life.
Don't you think kids nowadays should hear that though? Rather than
They do. I do, and it's in my messaging in
Yeah.
different settings, my social media and whatnot. I don't really
More
sit
hope.
there and whatnot. I do talk about it a little bit, but it's more I drive positive and hope, right?
yeah,
Because but the work that I do with young people is building their capability around being more resilient. And I tackle in a group settings and whatnot. We talk about that, being resilient, leaning into fear or leaning into pain,
yeah,
and then to be able to
correct.
understand, okay, what's your pain threshold? Understand what's my optimal levels of operation, where I need to be, and what do I need my frequency to be for those that are around me as well. What does this group do when I'm around these certain people? What has happened to my energy levels, my decision making, where am I here? And understanding, getting them to see a life. If I go down here, what does that mean for me? There's a fear element there because there's destruction versus production and producing and productive pathways. So there's different ways to look at it. For me, I look at it as dark. If I don't do this is where.
Same, bro.
Even dark for my kids. If I'm not here, they're gonna have this life.
Not the possibility of what could. Yeah.
Nah, I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Bro, subhanallah, subhanallah. It's just, my mind goes to the worst of the worst.
Correct. Yeah.
And that wake up. That's my caffeine here.
That's here.
Do you know what I mean?
Because even Dini, and that's the same thing with like from a Muslim point of perspective. It's like some people are motivated by Jannah, and other people are, I guess, motivated from Jahannam in the sense that they don't want to end up what's called in the eternal hellfire. Some people can imagine that life of bliss.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a life of bliss. All I can think of is just avoiding not being in the ditch. Does that make sense? Not failing, not coming short.
And that's part of it. That's what I often say. It's not wanting a life free of pain.
Yeah.
If you want a life that you can overcome any pain that comes your way.
You can always go harder.
And you go harder.
Yeah.
And you're searching for it and you're going and you're chasing it,
Exactly.
That's a very good topic, bro. But for me, what works is, that the fear of not being in the ditch. I think, what is a good life? I think when things are too good,
it's boring.
The pain is greater.
That's true.
Yeah, when it arrives. It's true.
When things are too good, that's how I've always been.
You're right.
When things are running smooth, I'm just,
what's happening? Yeah.
I'm looking over the shoulder.
We're going to see this village thing with you and Hanad?
Yeah, well, the work's already started, so we've been working.
Nice.
So we've been working. We just haven't been. We haven't posting it and whatnot. We'll start posting it in coming.
You guys should come back on the potty when it's.
Once we launch it, once we actually publicly launch it, we got a leadership program we're working on.
Nice.
Scanlon Foundation
camps
provided so leadership for development. So it's African Australian Fellowship. Is what's in the pipeline. So that's funded by Scanlon Foundation. Shout out to Scanlon Foundation for providing those dollars there. Exciting little project, man. Nice, it's gonna be an annual project there, and we're doing a whole heap of youth. Called youth safety, community safety focused initiatives. We've got knife crime awareness workshops. That's for young people and for practitioners. We have a whole heap of things, man. So Better Men, which is the previous organisation I used to lead, we've kind of morphed that into, as part of Think Village, a program of Think Village now instead of its own organisation. So that's the transition. We're doing a bit of that. So that will be a lot more of my time. Outside of that, you know, just pushing along, man, working in the education space, you know, working in the impact space, man. So MoSocial impact it's a lifestyle.
It is.
You know, it's so just project to project. You know, I don't know what the next project's going to be. Nice. But Think Village and my day job is right now where my family is.
All right.
That's 100% of my time.
That's all that matters.
Think Village. You'll see more of Think Village next year.
I can't wait to see that,
so
man.
It's exciting. I'm excited for this project, you know, and we're building. It's a non-for-profit, but we're gonna be making some good moves.
Well, whatever we can do to support, inshallah.
100%.
Hit us up,
I
man.
got your number.
Where can people find you, man?
MoSocial Impact.
Instagram.
Across all platforms.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure doing this episode with you, man. I think it might officially be the longest episode. How long, Ahmed? 3 hours.
Is that 3 hours?
Yeah.
God
officially the longest
Certified
podcast. You know what the funniest thing is? I said to him, I was J'd up for this episode. I go to him, bro, I reckon this is going to be like a 3 hour whatever. You know?
I enjoyed it. Well, like, time's gone quick.
Time goes flies. So sorry if we disrupted anything, but
You
guys,
see my phone was going off as well.
nonetheless, you guys know the drill. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see Mohammed back on, whether you like it or not, we're going to get him back on. So if he doesn't, no, joking. If he does,
thank you for having me on, bro. I love this platform, by the way.
Thank
man.
you.
I love the work of the boys and
appreciate it, man.
Everyone. That's the ones behind the camera that you might not see, and everyone else is not here as well.
100%.
Keep striving, you know. And what you guys build is impressive, man.
Thank you. Man.
It's don't take it lightly, you know. Just but connect with your audience, bro.
Yeah, we're going to talk about you. We want to talk about that off podcast.
Let's do that.
We've got some ideas and stuff. You know,
you
guys know the drill. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.